Some teams that we thought would be contenders have drastically struggled.
If I'm the Texans, I am genuinely concerned because the run game's not there, the protection's not there for Stroud, who looks different again.
So today, we're going to explore the 5 teams that can make a 180-degree turn and save their seasons, and the 5 teams whose seasons are pretty much over. Potential turnaround: Baltimore Ravens. The 2025 Ravens are usually the team with an elite defense and a high-powered offense powered by Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. However, the 2025 season has been a chaotic mess so far, with Jackson missing time due to a hamstring injury and Henry fumbling the ball in certain games. Not to mention the defense struggling in both the pass and run game due to injuries on that side of the ball. Coming off the Week 7 bye, Jackson will return to practice, along with Roquan Smith, which should definitely help boost both sides of the ball for the coming stretch of games, especially with an easier stretch of games coming up in the schedule. Protecting Jackson is a must for the Ravens if they're to turn their season around. Also, continue involving Mark Andrews, Asai Likely, and other tight ends in the passing attack. On defense, the Ravens gotta force more turnovers in the remaining weeks and also improve the play in the trenches. Will the Ravens be able to turn around right away? Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But hey, they certainly have the talent to do so. Pretty much over New York Jets. The 2025 Jets played some pretty good games, but, well, they've come up empty-handed so far, as they are now 0-7 as of late October.
Depressing.
Unimpressed.
Abysmal. Disappointing.
Justin Fields showed some spark of hope for gangrene, but he has regressed significantly and was benched in favor of Tyrod Taylor in the Jets' Week 7 6-13 loss to the Carolina Panthers. Fields' future in the Big Apple is in serious doubt. The Jets' offense has struggled with turnover issues, a lack of scoring, and having an inexperienced offensive coaching staff, which really doesn't help matters. The passing attack has been absolutely lackluster and ineffective, as no wide receiver or tight end on that roster has topped over 100 receiving yards in a game yet. The defense has also struggled with poor tackling, coverage issues, and a lack of takeaways. As popular as head coach Aaron Glenn is, he'll need to readjust his offensive coaching staff for a much better 2026 season. Potential turnaround? Houston Texans. The Texans started the 2025 season on a rather poor note, losing their first 3 games of the season. The Texans have to make a significant improvement to their offensive line and develop a consistent run game, as Nick Chubb has been doing whatever he can to carry the workload, while Joe Mixon continues to recover from his foot injury. The Texans still have Nico Collins as a reliable pass catcher who has scored 3 touchdowns so far this season. The Texans also have to utilize guys like Chubb and Christian Kirk on offense while Stroud continues improving. Rookie wide receiver Jaden Higgins has shown flashes of potential as he has hauled in 1 touchdown so far this season. The Texans' defense has remained strong and is playing very consistent football. They have all the tools to make a solid turnaround, they just need to make it happen in the coming weeks. Pretty much over, Tennessee Titans. The 2025 Titans have been a complete train wreck to watch so far. From horrible performances on both sides of the ball to the firing of head coach Brian Callahan, who should have been shown the exit after the conclusion of the 2024 season. Sure, rookie quarterback Cam Ward is doing whatever he can to keep the team afloat, but he has struggled in key games and has thrown slightly more interceptions than touchdowns so far this season, with 5 against 4 touchdowns after Week 7. It also doesn't help that the Titans have no veteran leadership on that team. All the Titans can really do now is just tank. Trade away certain talented Super Bowl contenders for draft capital, hire a new, more competent head coach for the 2026 season, and hey, try to secure a higher draft pick in the 2026 draft. Potential turnaround? Cincinnati Bengals. Alright, hear us out. Joe Burrow suffered a toe injury that required surgery and was sidelined for a few months. Jake Browning has struggled in Burrow's absence for the past few weeks, but then the Bengals traded a 5th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns for Joe Flacco, and hey, everything changed. Flacco showed that he still has it in the team's 33-31 Thursday Night Football thrilling win over Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers by throwing 3 touchdown passes against no interceptions. Not to mention, Flacco provides the Bengals with some much-needed veteran leadership on offense. Flacco will also work with the wide receiver duo of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase during Burrow's absence, and will continue to form an impressive on-field chemistry with the duo. Not to mention, Chase Brown is a very reliable running back when he produces big games on the ground. If the Bengals continue showing new signs of life with Flacco under center until Burrow returns, well hey, they may be able to potentially surprise many and sneak their way into the playoffs when the 2025 season is said and done. Pretty much over, New Orleans Saints. Even though the Saints have a talented receiver core, the rest of that team is still abysmal and in need of repairs. The quarterback situation in the Big Easy is questionable, with Spencer Rattler and rookie Tyler Shuck on the roster after Derek Carr retired. Not to mention rookie head coach Kellen Moore having his work cut out for him, as the team has not shown any signs of improvement from the Dennis Allen era. Sure, the defense has talented stars like Demario Davis and Cameron Jordan, but the Saints ultimately should just trade one of them or heck both of them to true title contenders before the NFL trade deadline and just continue rebuilding for the future. Injuries have also affected the Saints, as center Eric McCoy is out for the season with a torn biceps injury, and running back Kendre Miller has a torn ACL and is also out for the season. If the Saints do trade some assets for draft capital, well, they need to go younger and acquire guys in the 2026 NFL draft who are going to be able to help the Saints return to playoff contention. Potential turnaround, New York Giants. Many predicted that the 2025 Giants were going to be going nowhere fast in the NFC East. However, ever since the Giants benched Russell Wilson in favor of rookie Jackson Dart, the Giants have found a new lease on life with him and rookie running back Cam Scatterbo leading the way, which may potentially save head coach Brian Dable's job, at least for now. Dart's ability as a passer and strong mobility have given the Giants offense a much-needed spark in a very competitive NFC East, as shown in the team's stunning Week 6 upset over the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Sure, the front office is a mess and the offensive line is still, it still has issues, but that team, well, they're adapting to schemes and plays that perfectly suit their strengths. Even if the Giants miss the playoffs, their future is in excellent hands under Dart's leadership. Pretty much over, Las Vegas Raiders. The 2025 Raiders look like they're going to make a decent run with Pete Carroll as head coach and Geno Smith at quarterback. As well, rookie running back Ashton Genty leading the way on offense. But, well, so far, what we've seen has been hard to watch. Smith has thrown 7 touchdowns against 10 interceptions as of Week 7, and the Raiders were pummeled 0-31 against the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. The Raiders' offense has struggled under offensive coordinator Chip Kelly and has averaged 14.7 points per game through 7 games, which is the team's lowest output since the 2009 season when Jamarcus Russell was under center. And despite Carroll's resume, the Raiders remain a very dysfunctional team, and their additions to the offensive line have made no impact whatsoever. At this point, the Raiders should just consider trading talent for higher draft capital for the 2026 NFL Draft and just replace Chip Kelly with a new offensive coordinator after the 2025 season concludes. Potential turnaround, Washington Commanders. The 2025 Commanders have been a slight disappointment so far this season. Jaden Daniels has experienced a sophomore slump and is currently dealing with a hamstring injury, and is going to miss some significant time, forcing veteran Marcus Mariota under center. The team has to improve on slow starts, overcome injuries to key players, and win the penalty battle, as they're currently in the top 10 of the most penalized teams in the 2025 season per StatMuse. The Commander secondary has been a bit of a weak point of the team, so they're going to have to step it up, as head coach Dan Quinn has signaled that personnel change is a-coming. On offense, the Commanders have Laramie Tunsil helping with pass protecting and run blocking, and adding veteran wideout Deebo Samuel has shown wonders for the team. Team needs to get healthier and improve on defense in the coming weeks if they want to make another run into the playoffs. Pretty much over, Miami Dolphins. Oh, where do we even begin? The 2025 Dolphins have been just a complete and utter disaster. Head coach Mike McDaniel's offense is not producing much. Tua Tagovailoa isn't playing elite football and probably should be benched in favor of someone else. Not to mention, Tagovailoa throwing his fellow teammates under the bus for being late to player-only meetings, which hasn't exactly sat well with fans.
I think it starts with the leadership. We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that.
Now, Tagovailoa did apologize for his comments, but I don't think that's really changed anyone's opinion about him. There's also a lack of competitiveness from the team during key games, as they were recently blown out by the Cleveland Browns in a 6-31 loss. Injuries have also affected the team in the secondary and the offensive line, which has made significant impacts on the Dolphins in a negative way. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill is out for the year with a torn ACL, and tight end Darren Waller suffered a pectoral injury in the team's team's Week 7 loss against the Browns. On top of that, general manager Chris Greer failed to add to the offensive line, as Tagovailoa has been sacked 15 times so far this season. If these struggles continue and losses continue, well, it may be time to relieve McDaniels of his head coaching duties, fire Greer, hire a new general manager, and finally, at long last, move on from Tagovailoa. But what teams do you think can still turn it around this season? What teams do you think are already done for? What do you think we got right here? What do you think we got wrong? Was there anything notable that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.